Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, and of course, your pharaoh of physical media, back again with another episode of Let's Get Physical Media. But you know, it ain't a show until I dial in Saarbrücken, Deutschland, and I bring on everyone's favorite German, Mr. Dieter Bastian. What the fuck, dude? What is this? What, Dieter, what, excuse me. This is my birthday week. What are you doing? What are you wearing?
Rob, let me just first say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Here I am, rock you like a...
My hurricane is not rock today, Dieter.
Yeah. Okay, Rob, I know. I apologize. Let me just put the jacket aside so you don't get... up in a frenzy, okay?
I'm in a frenzy.
Just give me 1 minute, okay?
1 minute? Wow, Dieter wants 1 minute. I don't know what to say. Like, you know, there are certain things on this channel I tolerate a lot. There's a lot of people. All I do, I mean, most people are, you only hear about the good stuff. But all day long, I am attacked. I am beleaguered. You know, people on the internet. Oh, what the hell, dude? What are you doing to me?
Nothing has been more ghibli to put the live chat in a culture frenzy. Cancel culture frenzy uproar.
You spent money on this.
Yes, just to do that show. Just to do that show.
Oh my god.
But Rob, I will have a beer tonight called Warsteiner. Because it was your birthday. As far as I know, it would be John's birthday today.
It would be John Schnapp's birthday today, yes.
Today, and the day before, it was actually mine. So, okay.
Your birthday is the 14th?
Correct. So, for that, I will have one today, and I thought, why not do a joke, Rob? I even put money into this.
You put way too much money into this. You could have spent it.
Much money. I promise, Rob, this will be the only time I wear it.
This was not a Schnäppchen. These were not Schnäppchens.
If somewhere in the future I will come to LA, we burn it, okay?
Oh, that would be a bit. You know what? I will hold you to that, sir.
Okay. We will burn it together.
I cannot believe that you're going to wear this shirt this entire show.
Yeah, it's probably get me canceled, but what can you do? Okay, sometimes I have to poke the bear a little, okay? But Rob, even if I wasn't on Midnight Metal yesterday, I was present with my picture that you showed. And I thought I will show the picture in its entirety. So this is the whole picture.
Oh.
So this on the side is my youngest niece. And this was taken at the Billy Idol concert in Saarbrücken. So this is the whole picture.
Wow,
because
you know what?
Yeah.
I just look. I didn't realize it was your birthday on May 14th. I'm very sorry. We should have done the show on our birthday.
No problem, Rob. I don't make a big fuss out of such things, okay?
Why not? You might be dead
like
next
you
year.
said, we're old. 1 foot in the grave. The grave is old, and the foot is always getting deeper, sucked into that grave every year now.
You know what even gets us to the grave sooner? Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Beyond.
But come on, people. We all love our Rob. When Rob is ranting about Discovery, so Discovery has to continue. Do you really want to miss out on that? Come on, people.
Well, hey, you know what?
Everybody is hot on Star Trek Season 4. Do you really want to miss out on that?
They're shooting Picard Seasons 2 and 3 back-to-back. You got Q and the Borg, scintillating originality coming from the producers of Picard. And then, of course, you have Disco Seasons 4 and 5 being shot concurrently.
4 and 5?
Yeah, and then, they renewed both 4 and 5 at the same time. And also, if there's some, gigantic gravity anomaly, people are like, oh, it's V'ger coming back. I'm like, you know what? I never thought that media or that a show would make me want to jump off a building, but modern Star Trek does just that. It is the exact opposite of uplifting.
Okay, totally. But what can you do? Let's recap We have 2 weeks of recap. What was all going on? Okay, in the live chat from the last 2 weeks, Willow Yang was in cahoots again. This time with Omar.
Oh, hang on. Let me put you front and center so everybody can see that disco shirt. Look at just gaze
nice
upon
with the logo here.
Oh my God, I can't. Okay, I don't mean to interrupt.
The live chat should be awake now. Come on, live chat should be awake. If they did hang out with you in the Midnight Metal show, I had to get them up again. Okay, so Willow is in cahoots with Omar. And she thinks that shiny is one of my favorite words. And she thinks every time I say shiny, we should drink to that, okay? So I will have
So you said it now twice, but I've got coffee today.
Shiny. And considering what was going on, where do I start? Dave asked at the end of Midnight Metal about red screening again. And Dave, 2 weeks ago, I already told everyone I liked it. Nice leisure. You can totally put it on your watch list without any questions. You will probably love the practical effects. Okay, the story is not that particularly special, but really recommended from me. But Dave, someone who doesn't like trick or treat, recommend. So probably I don't know what you give about my judgment. But red screening was fine.
Based on that shirt, not much.
Not much, correct, Rob. I got my Demons replacement disc, Rob.
Oh, nice.
I don't know about you.
I have not because Emma Bannon hooked me up, so I got to write into them and.
Okay. Emma was, of course, the usual shenanigans in the Let's Get Physical Media Facebook page. Have you seen your deepfake? We're running as
Quicksilver. I have to say that I never mentioned this, but Emma Bannon's deepfakes are pretty great. I just know that she must have undying love for me, that she spends so much time making such great deepfakes of me. So I always want to thank her.
Yeah. What was else going on? Let me see. Doodles David said, I'm on the physical media hype train now after watching this channel. I'd collected before, but now way more for movies I love. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Okay, so Slice Knight asked, "Is the director's cut of Battle Royale much different? I only have the theatrical cut on Blu-ray." And Rob, you did already showed it.
Yes,
I got mine too. Ooh. The Battle Royale. No, Rob showed it 2 weeks ago. And I watched the theatrical version. Slice Knight in the director's cut, as far as I remember it, there is a little more flashbacks to the kids, so that they get a little bit more backstory. They are a little bit more fleshed out, and unfortunately, there is, as far as I know, a little bit more CGI blood added to it, as I remember it. So the CGI blood is perhaps not.
There's also more of Shuya's backstory.
Yeah. Correct. So I haven't only watched the theatrical version 2 days ago. Still love the movie, but I haven't delved into the longer version. Have you a preferred version of the two, Rob?
I think the theatrical version is my favorite, but I actually do like the longer version because I do like getting more of Shuya's backstory. I do enjoy that.
Okay, and you showed it also. I've got Donnie Darko, but I haven't checked about the frame issue.
I haven't either. I need to go back and do that.
What I wanted to show, I don't know how the other users handles this. Wait, let me see where I put it. There it is. At the outer box, there's always the paper.
Right.
The paper. What I do is I take the scissors and cut off slightly the edges, which are just black, and then you could fit this in the box too.
Oh, look at that! Look at you.
So that's how I do it, because it's otherwise a little too big to fit in. And if you cut just the edges that are black, then you could fit in this in the box too.
Nice. Love it.
And then you can show the back more easily. So this is what I do with the paper around it. Shorten it a little bit, and then you can fit that in the box too.
Nice.
But I wasn't done with the live chats. Okay, Richard said, "I'll take Twister from Turbine. I will take that too, of course." Richard and Dirty Soul Monkey asked if that is Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. It is Return of the Killer Tomatoes. And on the left here is Where the Wind Blows, the old animated that is coming out from Turbine again. So the people wanted to ask what was on the card else. And in the middle is a Cheech and Chong movie. And here are the Hills Have Eyes and some Kill Squad, Söldner Kommando. Okay, it's a Return of the Killer Tomatoes, not Attack, Return. And When the Wind Blows is the animated movie from the 80s, I believe, Rob.
Yes, it is.
When the Wind Blows. So, what was else there? Rob, you were brutally honest at the last time and said, dude, I like you. Okay, not anymore. But
yeah, you're done. You're dead to me.
You're done. You buy a lot of crap. You are brutally honest. No, Rob, I don't buy a lot of crap because Tim Hens said Dieter purchases a lot of quality trash. It's totally different. Just a lot of quality trash. Okay, fine by me. Okay, Dean Migadich, like Emma Bannon, okay, was saying, did I forget my Robin costume? It would probably be better if I would wear the Robin costume. But what can you do? So this was everything. And what was great, last week on Midnight Metal, where David Pryor showed up, and then Brad Pierce was in the live chat, and I could thank him for the autograph on the 4K for the Wretched. And I asked him in the live chat if he is satisfied with the 4K as the filmmaker. And he answered, "It's fantastic. Thank you, Dieter. I never thought I have my own film looking so good." So it was really, really nice to read that about it. If the filmmaker is happy again.
Well, I mean, it was so much fun because I want to remind everyone that you got the Pierce brothers those 4K copies of the Wretched, or as they call it in Germany, because the Germans need to know exactly what a movie's about.
Correct.
The Witch Next Door. Gosh, I mean, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
But by the way, those guys, I mean, I the Pierce brothers are like, those dudes rule. I just want to say, I love those guys. I can't wait to see what they make next. I don't understand why they're not making a movie right now. They told me an idea of something. I'm not going to say what it is, but by God, gents, make another movie because I really love them.
Are they in a pre-production phase? Can you say?
No, they're pitching a project, and we used to live in a world where you'd make a movie like The Wretched, and like Avco Embassy would be like, okay, John Carpenter, what's your next movie? You made The Fog for us. Why not make Escape from New York? Okay, we will. Why do talented filmmakers, wait around? I don't understand. I mean, the Pierce brothers should be working. They've got a great project. Hire them, folks. Hire them. And also, David Pryor, where's the 4K? Can we get a 4K of
MD? After Midnight Metal, the next day, I had already purchased the stream for MD Man, but I put it on hold. No, sometimes I will watch it, okay? But then after Midnight, okay, I said, come on, and we didn't do a show last week, so I had a little bit more time because it's a longer movie. Watched the MD Man, loved it, was great. And like you said, would be nice to have a physical media release of it.
Yeah, I mean, a 4K nice media book. Come on, Turbine.
Would be really, really great.
Yeah,
you say the name probably correct. I said Terje Tiberius Morg asked about
Terrier.
He asked, anyone seen the Norwegian Daylight, The Tunnel? Terje, I still don't have seen it. It's still wrapped, but I have it. It's the Hong Kong disc, but it is the Norwegian movie, The Tunnel. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it to this day. What can you do? So I believe, let me see if there was something else. I believe it was most of it. The Richard asked if is this a sequel to Frankenstein's Army? I believe he asked about the Curse of Dracula. not that I know of, Richard. That this is a sequel to Frankenstein's Army. So I believe, Rob, we are done as far as I see with the live chat. Yeah. Okay, Rob. Okay. How was your whole 2 weeks?
Not much, to be honest. I mean,
Okay.
I've half the things I've ordered have not shown up yet.
Oh,
I don't know why. Like, you know, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly 4K. I had to get it.
Got it. Still haven't got it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably ran out.
No,
So-
it's on its way, but the shipping is delayed. Amazon says it's on its way, but
Yeah.
still hasn't arrived.
No, I've missed out on some things, but I have a few things.
Yeah, the people asked about it, and they thought you wouldn't buy it because it's not the longer version that you prefer.
You know what though? I had to get it anyway
Yeah,
because who knows when there's going to be another 4K version of that film.
and quality seems to be really, really good.
Yes. And look, even though there's a few scenes that I like that are missing, I have the version already on Blu-ray. so I mean,
Yeah.
I if it's not in 4K, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
But I do have things coming, and also there's some great Criterion titles that dropped that I haven't picked up yet, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I'm gonna get. But you know, it's funny with Criterion titles now. I'm like, do I wait for the next Criterion sale? 50% off. I mean, 50%
And
off.
it's a Schnäppchen, Rob.
It's a
50%.
Schnäppchen, and when you're buying, like they put out new titles, if you have 4 or 5 Criterion titles, you just save up. I mean, some things like the Wong Kar-wai collection, even though it's very controversial in terms of transfers now, I had to get them. Like, I had to have it. I had to have that. I couldn't wait. But in terms of stuff like, you know, Fast Times at Ridgemont High on Criterion, do I need that? Well, the answer is yes, I do. But I don't need it, like, right away. Because I have Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
So
For some titles, we should wait for.
Yeah,
for
but like-
it's not limited.
no, an Arrow box set, I mean, you got to buy them right away. You don't want to lose out. Because I've lost out, and I don't want to lose out. And then by the way, we did have some very exciting news drop that you picked up for me the German media book of The Hitcher, Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell. Second Sight, who, by the way, is crushing it lately. Second Sight is really, I mean, obviously, Second Sight, for whatever reason, when I'm on my deathbed, one of the last things I'm going to say is Second Sight because of the Dawn of the Dead box set, of course.
Yeah.
I will be, and now they have announced that their version of Martin, George Romero's Martin, which is the movie he made before Dawn of the Dead, which I adore, his vampire movie, they have finished the transfer of that, so they're putting that out, a box set of that. But they also got the rights. They're going to do The Hitcher.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's a little bittersweet. Obviously, we have it already, but the negative for The Hitcher is gone.
Yeah,
It astonishes me. The Hitcher is, I would call it I think it's an upscale movie. I love The Hitcher. I remember being blown away by it when I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, I remember the first time I read it on VHS, was totally into it.
Yeah, it's beautifully made. Mark Isham's score, the whole plot. Rutger,
As it is called in German, the Highway Killer.
the Highway Killer. Yeah, which
Killer.
it's great to have. Which you got me.
It's not the Hitcher. It's the Highway Killer.
Well, because the Germans they don't understand what hitching means.
Not a cat in the bag with the Germans, Rob.
Is there a word for hitchhiking in Germany?
Anhalter mit hinnehmen. It wouldn't sound good, but Highway Killer, that sounds Rob.
Yeah, well, because the Germans need to know exactly what they're seeing. What are we seeing? Honey, why don't we go see the movie about that highway killer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Anhalter, no, the Highway Killer.
So,
but it was really, from my perspective, the German one is really nice from the picture quality. I don't know about the master which they have to to do that Blu-ray, but from my perspective, the Blu-ray was really nice.
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy with that. But they found like a print or something. But how can you lose? I mean, it's scary to think that movie's mid '80s. It came out, I think, '86.
I don't know which studio produced it, Rob. Under which umbrella it is.
Ooh,
Wasn't it I don't remember the video company.
Yeah, I don't either, but it's coming out from Second Sight, and they've been killing it. Second Sight is killing it, and also Emma Bannon told me that HMV is doing a new version of 300 in 4K, a collector's edition. She got me the collector's edition of Godzilla, which is great.
That would fit nicely with Godzilla.
Yeah, and she's gonna hook me up with that. And Emma Bannon has also told me that she's going to hook me up with a second copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Steelbook, the like Excalibur Steelbook, and I'm going to give it away on the 700th show. Now, by the way, there's something to be said. The Richard has told me, he's like, dude, you've been remiss in sending out the discs for people. And I have. I've got them. I have them right here. It's like they're standing here. They're even in their little boxes. I have them. I'll send them out this week. I will make sure that one of my moderators gets African for Nazis.
Finally, Rob.
I have it. They haven't gone anywhere. No. I take full responsibility. Blame me. But it's going to happen.
Me.
Or you, yes.
And we got 2 weeks for observation and reviews. And on reviews, you did Scott Pilgrim, my nice Steelbook.
Oh, is that the new Steelbook?
No, it's the old one, but I wanted to show it because it's shiny, Willow. It's shiny, okay?
It warms my heart that you're drinking a Bruce.
But I will get the 4K too when it comes out. And then Rob, you had a observation. I don't know which number it was, and you told us about that you had Godfather for the longest time, but didn't watch the movie.
Oh, you had to bring that up again. Rub it in my face. Thanks. The disco shirt and talk about how I didn't see Godfather. Thanks.
You can get back to me.
No, thanks.
In 10 seconds, you can get back to me because as a junkie, we all have a junkie has movies that are still wrapped. Never watched it. So Rob, I have this one. Still wrapped. Never watched it.
What?
This is still wrapped, Rob.
Okay, bruh.
What can I say?
Now I have to say.
So now you can get back to me, Rob.
Well, it's not quite Godfather level, like what. But I have to say,
I totally remembered when you said you had that movie for the longest time, but didn't watch it, and I always heard you liked the movie, and then I thought, damn, you still haven't watched this one.
That movie, The Social Network, is one of the most rewatchable movies. I don't know why. There's two movies that I can watch, modern movies, that I could watch on endless loops. Like when I first started dating Elizabeth, she would be asleep. We're in bed together late night. She's totally asleep with her cute little breathing when she's asleep. And then I would put on The Big Short. Like I would just watch I must have watched The Big Short 30 times. I loved The Big Short. And like even during the day, she would come in and I'd be like watching The Big Short. The Social Network is a movie like that, where I think The Social Network is one of the most compulsively rewatchable movies ever. I mean, it's David Fincher, and basically the whole movie is people just talking in rooms. It's not even, whoever thought that coming up with a program like Face Smash could be interesting. But, man, you're going to love it. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's score, it's great. And by the way, the sound mix, there's a sound design cue in there where they cut into a nightclub, and Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg is talking to Sean Parker, and played by Justin Timberlake, and you cut into a club, and the ambient sound of the club and the music playing, it might be my single favorite audio edit or audio. They go into it's like, what is it? There are two things in this movie. The opening scene that's like 9 minutes long, what it's like to sound in a busy bar to try and talk to somebody, and then the cut to the club. Those two pieces of sound design might be my favorite. The opening of the movie and Cutting to the Club. Talk about peak verisimilitude. I know it's a little thing, and I don't even know why I'm talking about my favorite sound design in movies, but it's
you know, I like sound more than anything, bro.
Well, I am telling you, when you play this and play it loud, you too will be stunned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, 200 Watt Studio says Dieter's audio has been roboting during the stream.
Okay. Why? Okay.
I don't know. You sound good to me.
Okay.
That's weird. No, you sound fine. Don't change anything.
Okay.
I don't know.
I will speak slower, but I don't think that will change anything.
Well, as you know, I mean, I at 12 o'clock today on the Mid-May Massacre convention, I'm going to be interviewing the director of Psycho Gorman. I can't wait to show him the media book you hooked me up with.
Send me a link, Rob. Send me a link, Rob. I will see that.
Yes, I will. I'll put it in the live chat right now.
Because it's live. You said it's live.
Yeah.
It's not pre-recorded. It's live. Okay.
No, it is. It is, and it's at the Mid-May Massacre Horror Con, and yeah, I will. I will put the link right now in the live chat so you can watch me interview. Wow, everybody says his audio is breaking up massively on my end. Your audio is breaking up. It sounds amazing to me, so I don't know.
I try something else.
No, don't try anything.
Okay.
It's coming through fine. I don't know.
Test 1 2 1 2.
No, you sound great. Robo Dieter. They're saying you're Robo Dieter.
That's not cool.
No. No, it's not cool. I don't know what to say.
But okay.
Yeah, I mean, you sound fine to me.
Test. Let's keep an eye on the live chat.
Hang on, everyone's saying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you jump off and jump right back on?
Okay. So I close the window. Okay.
Yeah, just disconnect and come back. Same link. And I'll wait for you to come back, and maybe we can alleviate this problem. So disconnect Dieter and come back on. Hopefully, when Dieter comes back, we will be okay. I'll just wait until he does come back. I can just talk to all of y'all. In terms of physical media, hey, what can we say? It's been a pretty good couple weeks. There's been some specialty things that have come out. All right, Dieter, talk now, please. Say something. Hang on, let's
rock you like a hurricane. 1 2 1 2. Hey,
well, we'll see.
Hey,
yeah. Sing this Corrosion. I'm a big Sisters of Mercy fan. So we
better.
I will have to see. Somebody said if you want to see Asians, go to China. I was talking about diversity yesterday on the show, and I'm like, you know what? What really bothers me? What really bothers me is when people talk in America about representation in movies. Like, I've been a fan of Chinese cinema for the better part of 50 years, and I'm like, guys, when was the last time you watched? There's some Asian cinema today is some of the most vibrant in the world. I mean, if it wasn't enough that Parasite won the Best Picture at the Academy Awards, I mean, have we not been getting some kick-ass Asian cinema? I mean, totally. Japanese, Chinese, Korean. We have seen some amazing, whether it's genre movies, whether it's detective movies, whether it's Science Sono's stuff like Love Exposure. There's so many great films coming out of Asia. And when people talk about, well, there's not enough representation in movies, I'm like, what? Come on, man. There's world cinema that you're not watching. Like, I just don't understand it. I know people are like, well, Rob, I don't want to watch subtitled movies and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, come on, man. You know, I think we need to, if you want representation, you want to see, watch the great cinema of the world. There's movies
Like
all
Another
around.
Round.
Oh, by the way, I watched Another Round. You know, I picked it up. I loved it. Loved it. I mean, I can understand it's kind of my autobiography, perhaps a little bit of it. But I do, that movie, like when I saw Leaving Las Vegas, you know, I know Nicolas Cage drinks himself to death in that movie, but the first thing I wanted to do when I got out of the theater was like get a drink and go to Las Vegas. And Another Round, you know, there's the key art with Mads Mikkelsen on the disc where he's swigging out of a bottle of champagne is from the end of the movie. And in real life, he used to be a ballet jazz dancer. They incorporated that in, and he does that dance at the end and then leaps into the water.
And then he discos it.
Oh man, I loved it. I found it very moving, and it was really low key. You know, it's not like, it wasn't overly histrionic. I thought it had peak verisimilitude, and it really, I loved it. So did Elizabeth, and Another Round deserved to win Best International Film. Loved it.
From my perspective, Better Days would be also a great choice if it had won the Oscar. The Chinese movie Better Days is also a great movie.
Okay.
It was these are the only two that I knew from the 5 movies. But Better Days I can recommend totally. Was a great movie too. But I totally forgot it was from last year for the Oscars this year.
But without further ado, we should get into it. What did you get?
I start, okay? Then let's throw in the trash wheel, and let's see what I picked up. I haven't watched it, but I know the reviews are bad. But I had to get it because Frank Grillo is in it. Cosmic Sin.
I can't believe you got that.
Yeah, but Frank Grillo is in it. Not this guy, but Frank is in it, and I love Frank. I haven't seen it, Rob. I haven't seen it. Probably we'll get back to you next week with a little review. But in Germany, that's the only way you can get a 4K of it. Okay,
I know.
The next 4K with Ruby Rose and our new Red Sonja, Hannah John Kamen, SAS, Red Notice. It's coming out in
I'm
America,
interested in that movie. I'd love to find out. You got to tell me whether that's good or not.
Yeah, it's Andy Serkis, Tom Wilkinson is in it, but I still haven't watched it.
Okay.
SAS Red Notice, and as far as I know, only in Germany available as a 4K.
Yep.
4K. SAS Red Notice, a little bit of from the UK. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Legionnaire. Willow, this is shiny.
That's very shiny.
It's shiny. And great, Rob, you have a little bit of a different underneath. I checked it out this afternoon, and even has a little bit of a booklet in it and poster. So you get a little bit, like you would say, a little bit of swag in it. And it is limited, but I haven't seen Legionnaire in a long time. So Legionnaire with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And from the UK to get Jackie Chan collection, Snake in the Eagle Shadow.
Nice.
Which comes with a different cover too. And it has also some lobby cards in it. So nice. It's totally great if the outer shell is different than what you get beneath it. And Rob, I already showed the special edition of Motherfuckers, this one. And I told you I really wanted to have an English dub for the movie. Because English dub seemed to me a better choice considering what the movie was showing. So I got the US version from it. So it's just called MFK say Motherfuckers, okay? But I haven't watched it.
Can you say that one more time?
Motherfuckers.
I love it.
But I haven't watched it, how good the English dubbing is. But on the German one, there is no English dubbing. There's just German and the original French on it. Then I don't know if this movie is about Gilbert. I don't know. Growl. It smells your fear. Okay? Don't. Cat in the back, Rob. Cat in the back. Growl. It smells your fear. It is, help me, a Spanish movie.
Oh, all right.
a Spanish movie.
Well, I always, my default position with movies is if they're foreign, they're usually they're better. So if you get foreign trash, it's usually better than domestic trash.
This one, I had my eye on it a little longer, but I waited till the price drop, Rob. So I got it as a Schnäppchen, and I believe it's still not out in Germany. The movie is called Spell.
Wow, okay.
So, but I don't know anything about it. But I waited till now. Now it's, I think, $12 only.
What a creative title.
Yeah. Now, let's go to the real trash, Rob. Because crime is a disease. Meet the condom. Not seen it. Lieutenant Jangles.
Lieutenant Jangles.
So I don't know about that, Rob.
Crime is a disease. Meet the condom. Wow.
Okay, Rob.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
And the next one I have seen, and I really liked it. Perhaps you have heard of it. For the Sake of Wishes. Really dug it. It's a little bit of a, let's say, home invasion movie.
Okay.
Some sort. It's really brutal. And I dug it, Rob. I dug it.
All right.
Totally recommend it. For the Sake of Wishes. It's just, let me check, 80 minutes. It's just about 75 minutes. Quick pace. Really dug it. And it has nice special features considering, I don't know, it looks like a MOD, Rob.
Yeah,
I would say.
it probably is.
But from me, recommendation. For the Sake of Wishes. Okay. Next one I haven't seen, and the reviews are not that good. This Ruby Rose, Vanquish.
Yeah, I was almost going to pick that up, but then I started reading reviews. I'm like, I don't know.
And Morgan Freeman. And Morgan Freeman, I have started to watch it. It's actually, he's in the movie. He's in the movie, Rob. Not only 10 minutes, but he's in the movie.
Well, that's good.
The next one, Rob, you asked me, Dieter, what you want for a release on Blu-ray or something like that, and then I don't find a title from the top of my head. But this one, when they announced it, I couldn't believe it. One of my favorite action movies from back in the day, and they released it. I don't know if you know the movie, Drive.
I know that movie, but I don't own it.
Rob, I have to ask you, can Eddie Murphy sue the company? Because Kadim Hardison doesn't look like that at all in the movie. Okay? But I will let it slide because I love the movie. I saw it back in the day, and it was one of the first American movies who incorporated Hong Kong action into it, considering the fights. And I was totally dugging it with Brittany Murphy, characters over the top. Love the bad guys, and this is comes with the longer version, not the theatrical version.
And it even says on the cover, it says action, so you know it's an action movie.
Okay. It's not the most prolific label, I know, but I never thought I would see Drive on Blu-ray. Okay, but I really love it, and it says it comes from a 4K scan. Okay, don't expect to be blown away by the picture quality, but this was really nice, and I really wouldn't thought this would ever see the light of day. I totally forgot about it, and when they announced what Drive is coming out on Blu-ray, great. But when I saw the cover, I thought, okay, is this Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but okay. Next one, Rob, I haven't seen, and I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. The new from Gaspar Noé, Rob, help me out with the title. Lux Eterna. Is that
Lux Eterna. Wow, I didn't know that was out.
This is the German. Oh, Willow. Damn, this is shiny. This media book.
I need to get that. I'm a Gaspar Noé fan, so.
Rob, unfortunately, this one comes only German and French, so you can't have. This comes with 2 covers. I did choose this one, and the movie is only 50 minutes long.
Yeah. Oh.
So I don't know anything about it. So this is a little bit of the inside. Comes with a poster. So Gaspar Noé is always controversial with his movies, but I dug the cover. And 50 minutes, okay. I hope it will at least fly by, considering the running time. And the next one, yours is on the way, Rob. I watched it yesterday because I haven't seen it. I only knew the remake from Alexandre Aja. Hills Have My Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, nice. Well, what a cover that is.
Yeah.
That won't
you
fly.
get the 4K. This is not the 4K because I did enjoy the cover so much that I decided, okay, I will not get the 4K.
Yeah, you'll never see that cover in the United States.
I will I will get that cover. It was from our favorite label Turbine, from the card that I can't find anymore.
It's amazing that like in Germany where, you know, violence movies get edited, that they would allow that cover.
Yeah, totally. And you will get the 4K, Rob. And I watched it yesterday. You will be totally satisfied with the transfer. I know Dave said, what can you expect? It's 16 millimeter. But it really looks fine to my eyes. Even the Blu-ray. Great. So even with the 4K, I think you could get even an uptick with that in the 4K. And now the funny thing, Rob, I haven't seen that movie. And what I didn't know was the German dubbing. In the German original dubbing, Rob, they made the people in the hills aliens. Yes, correct, Rob. They made aliens for the people. In that scene where the gas station owner is talking to the dead, there is the dialogue where he says, back in the day, there was the landing of the UFO, then they forgot about it. They really made aliens. But it comes with a new dubbing, which is identical to the English version when they are not aliens. So this is the little bit of the inside, Rob. Yours is on the way, the 4K nuclear test site.
Nice.
Okay, but I was really surprised. Transfer for that kind of film, totally fine by me. And I watched it yesterday. It really holds up. I haven't seen it before, and I really love the remake of from Alexandre. Have you seen Alexandre Aja's new film Oxygen on Netflix?
No, I have not watched it yet, but I hear it's good.
Yeah. Okay. This was Rob. This was not my complete haul. I forgot one because we do physical media and we do video games too. I got Rob the new Resident Evil.
Oh.
Resident Evil. I'm playing it at the moment. I got it with a not so shiny steelbook, so no zip from my Warsteiner for me for this one. Look this, Rob. This is what I say. Cheap. Nothing inside.
Yeah, that's not good.
From the steelbook. So this was with the steelbook, but really not needed, I would say. Okay, Rob, this was my haul for the 2 weeks.
Well, you know, I don't have much, but I've got some stuff, and I will start by saying, well, here's a cat in the bag, but it came out from Arrow. It's a Giallo movie. I don't know anything about this movie other than the fact I had to buy it. Death has blue eyes. You know, I know nothing about this movie. You know, when not a lot of stuff that I'm interested in comes out, I'll go in and buy weird catalog titles like you, Cat in the Bag. No idea, but it's Arrow. How bad can it be? I mean, I'm like, okay, I had to get that. Then, of course, one of my favorite comedies ever that I've been waiting to get on Blu-ray for a long time, Warner Archive put it out. If you haven't seen this, Bill Murray co-directed this film. It is Quick Change. And if you haven't seen Quick Change, I'm so happy to have this movie on Blu-ray. Warner Archive put it out. Thank God they did. It's so good. This is the movie where he's a crying on the inside kind of clown. I love this movie, and it's one of those things. God bless Warner Archive for putting this out. Then, of course, I picked up a 4K. I mean, how many times have these movies been released? I don't know. But to celebrate, I am seeing tomorrow night at 6 p.m., I'm going to the Burbank 16, and I get to see Fast and the Furious 9. And dude, it's a press screening. It's like a month in advance. I am going to, yes, I mean, can you believe it? So tomorrow night, I am going to see Fast and Furious 9
Can you tell us something about, or is there a review embargo?
There's a review embargo. We are allowed to talk. We can tweet on I can tweet about it, but because of that, I had to get the steelbook, the 4K steelbook of the first Fast and Furious.
Nice.
I had to do it.
This looks great.
I had to drop the green. I am waiting for my, what did I get? I got a steelbook of something else and I forget. Like what I didn't get, I haven't got my King Kong from Shout Factory. You know, where is that? I don't know. But I saw this and this was cheap. You know, it was cheap on Amazon. I'm like, click. Yeah. Well, why not get it? But I think the movie that I'm most excited about that came out, again, from Kino Lorber, it had been previously released on Blu-ray. It was on a disc that had 2 different movies. And this is one of them. I love this movie. And to have a final edition coming out.
So there were 2 movies on one disc? Or
and this movie was, they were on 2 movies on one disc. I don't even know how that works with the rights. But this finally gets its own release. And I love this movie. And that would be The Hot Spot, directed by Dennis Hopper. Okay. I love this film. Now I have to tell a story about this movie. So, I was working at Warner Brothers when this movie came out, and one of the women that I worked with, she asked me if I wanted to go to the Directors Guild with her to see this movie, and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Dennis Hopper directed it. Don Johnson, Virginia Madsen, the cast for this movie is insane, and so we went. In this movie, there is a scene of Jennifer Connelly, the lovely Jennifer Connelly, at her most cherubic, beautiful. She's topless in the movie. And, I mean, it's gratuitous nudity. In the theater, the men and women that were in the theater, when you saw her bare bosoms, her bosom, her bare breast, the entire audience went, because it was so spectacular. I mean, everybody, because you have seldom seen.
It was almost like the Friday 13th 3D experience in a different way.
It was I've never, and I think everybody laughed. I mean, it's not a particularly funny scene, but I mean, as far as nudity goes, we don't even think about it. No one even takes off their clothes in movies anymore, it seems like. But so Jennifer Connelly was gratuitously topless in this scene, and the entire audience their breath just was like at one time, and it was so everyone chuckled, and like we didn't all like we all laughed at ourselves and each other because no one had ever heard a collective gasp in a movie theater like this over just a young girl's nudity. But it was pretty spectacular. A lot of people remember it for that. But what I love about this movie, what I love a lot, is the soundtrack. It has an incredible, it's one of my favorite scores ever. And it's Miles Davis. Miles Davis, the great Miles Davis, plays on this score. And it is an incredible soundtrack. And the movie, I think the movie's pretty good. It's a noir story. I mean, Don Johnson plays this sort of strange guy who comes into town, robs a bank, and then gets involved with local shenanigans. But I really love it. I love Don Johnson, so I love the movie. But it's great to have and in its own. Now I've not watched it yet. I haven't watched the transfer, but apparently it's a new transfer.
I have the media book of Hotspot, but haven't watched it, Rob. Haven't watched it. I have a media book of Hotspot.
Wow. So is it an older media book?
Yeah, it is an older. It's not new, so I don't think if it is the same transfer that you have on the new disc. I don't know
this
about
is
it.
New. And again,
but I have to say, but it has the same cover as yours.
Yeah, and I have to say, kudos to Kino Lorber. I mean, for putting these things out. Kino Lorber puts out a lot of movies I can't even imagine they sell. I'm like, who's buying this? But they've done things lately, like they put out the 4K disc of Ridley Scott's Hannibal. Transfer's incredible. And then they've done things like they put out The Color of Night, another movie that I particularly love. But they did both the director's cut and the theatrical version, but they added Richard Rush, who directed The Stuntman. He also directed Color Night. He does commentary, and it's one of the greatest audio commentaries I've ever heard. And he was like 89. Richard Rush passed away in the last year, and he's no longer with us. But his audio commentary that he recorded at 89 is one of my favorite audio commentaries I've ever heard. And
what does he talk about, Rob? Can you give us?
Well, it's
because
just
I used audio commentaries where the director is just telling us what is happening on the screen.
Oh, no.
Okay, I don't want an audiobook.
Yeah, no, he talks everything about how the movie was filmed. I mean, it's just the way he's telling these stories. Like, you never know he was 89 years old. It was like he made the movie yesterday, and he's telling all kinds of stories about casting, and he had no fucks to give. He doesn't care. He's just talking.
At this age, you know.
Yeah, and now that he's gone, you know, and he directed a lot of exploitation films in the late 60s, and he directed movies like Freebie and the Bean, and he made The Stuntman, which is one of my favorite movies about movie making, and listening to his commentary about Color of Night was hilarious. And you really feel like you're in the room with him. It's just great.
And even if they will get upset, I told you, the audio commentaries from Uwe Boll are hysterical as well.
Yeah.
Even if the movie is not good, but his audio commentaries, where he just like this Mister, he doesn't give a fuck about which star was in it. This was a douchebag. This was a douchey douche. This was a cool one. He doesn't hold back anything, Rob.
Oh yeah, no, and the audio commentary for Color of Night is like that. So I've got things that are outstanding. Like I can't wait to get the Shout Factory King Kong, but I don't know where it is. I ordered it.
Mine is still not on the way because I ordered it from Amazon, and I think the release date is
is this past week?
In 1 week or what? Was it already out?
Yeah, it's come out here. I don't know where mine is.
Okay.
You know, I did somewhere. You know, so I'm looking forward to getting that because I've owned the '76 King Kong on Blu-ray for about 10 years. I got it. There used to be a website. I don't remember the name of it, but I used to buy a lot of foreign Blu-rays, you know, region B and C discs because they weren't out here, and I would look to see like what isn't out here, and King Kong was one of those. And I'm just happy to get the key art for King Kong when he's straddling the Twin Towers and he's got a plane in his hand. The key art for King Kong when I was a little kid was like the coolest movie poster ever, and it's got that key art on it, and the King Kong. I should have pulled it and showed it, but the worst cover I've ever seen. It's just terrible, and I can't wait to replace it. I can't wait to get rid of that disc.
Yeah, the new cover is awesome.
To get the new King Kong. So you know, I've ordered things from Zavvi. Like we got in the next couple weeks from now, we get Indiana Jones in 4K. Raiders of the Lost Ark in 4K is going to be. They released a trailer for it. I don't know if you've seen it, but they did a 4K specific. It looks gorgeous, and there's a lot of great stuff coming down the pike. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you have letters, Rob? I don't have letters.
I you know what? I only have one letter to read.
Okay.
I have and actually, you know what? I think I have, to be honest, I have 2 letters to read.
Oh.
And would you be surprised that both of them are from Omar?
Not particularly.
You sure?
Yeah. Are you sure both are for Let's Get Physical Media? Not one for
No, they're yes, they're both. They're both,
Okay.
and I'm going to read them to you. Let me see. I forgot to send one to you, so I know that I always feel that when someone sends a letter into Let's Get Physical Media, they want to hear you read it, not me.
Okay.
But here comes the first one.
Sorry, Omar.
Here, Omar writes, "Hi, Rob, and Guten Tag, Dieter. When it comes to your home media collection for movies, I would be interested in knowing if you care about whether there are behind-the-scenes featurettes or not. I remember when I used to have home media, some DVDs had behind-the-scenes featurettes while others have movies only. I ask because I've recently been watching a lot of behind-the-scenes and making of videos on YouTube for movies. I've done that many times over the years, but I recently started doing that more often. There have been behind-the-scenes videos for a lot of the Disney animated movies like Snow White, which I worked on. I made some behind the scenes for Snow White. Pinocchio, Bambi, Dumbo, Fantasia. That was the first disc I ever worked on, was Fantasia. 101 Dalmatians, Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Tarzan, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, which I have special thanks on those special features, and some live action movies like Mary Poppins and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I've also seen a number of behind the scenes of Pixar movies like Toy Story 1 and 2, Monsters, Inc., The Incredibles, and Ratatouille. I've seen a lot of behind the scenes videos for classic Hollywood movies like Roman Holiday, The African Queen, Public Enemy, Some Like It Hot, The Maltese Falcon, a number of Hitchcock movies, Psycho, The Birds to Catch a Thief, Rear Window, Vertigo, Notorious, Rope, and North by Northwest, and 3 of Errol Flynn's movies, Captain Blood, The Seahawk, and The Adventures of Robin Hood. I also saw the behind the scenes for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I worked on, the Harry Potter movies, Jurassic Park, the first 3 Indiana Jones films, the original Star Wars trilogy, E.T., Jaws, Basic Instinct, Terminator 1 and 2, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Tim Burton's Batman, the original Ghostbusters, Richard Donner's Superman, Back to the Future, Romancing the Stone, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Star Wars prequels. That is why I ask if you care about behind-the-scenes featurettes. I don't collect home media anymore, but if I still did, I would prefer if there were behind-the-scenes featurettes alongside the movie, since I find the behind-the-scenes stories very interesting to see. Thanks, and live long and prosper. Now, Dieter, Omar's young. He can't be faulted. Of course!
He didn't live.
Of course we want behind-the-scenes features. Of course!
He didn't live at the height where you were working, Rob. I believe this was really the height, considering when DVD was getting started. That was really the height of doing bonus features, bonus stuff, special features. And I do like yesterday when I watched Hills Have Eyes, if you have a retrospective of making such a low-budget movie, like Rob told us with the audio commentary from the director, you don't have to hold anything back. The movie is long past through any marketing. And that is the problem with new releases. Mostly with new release, you only get EPKs. They are just marketing stuff. But sometimes you get something different, because I know the reviews are bad, but I ordered it. I ordered Chaos Walking because our friend Cliff Stevensons did the behind the scenes stuff, and I read a review from Bill, and the behind the scenes stuff is really great, and
really
gives
great.
A little bit of insight what troubled production it was. There are probably, I think, 40 minutes of deleted scenes or alternative takes. So this should be a really nice package considering special feature. But mostly the new stuff, it's just EPK stuff, which
terrible.
Is just marketing.
Don't get me started.
When Rob was working, this was really the height of great special features, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in special features on DVDs from 1999. Well, the last time I did special features was this past year, 2020, for Hills on Red.
Correct.
So, you know, I haven't stopped. It's been 22 years, and over the course of that 22 years, I've been making special features for material.
I'm still waiting if the movie can hold up to the special features.
I know. I got to see Dave. Dave and we're going to meet. I'll make a video where he signs it. By the way, I do have another letter. I just found it.
Oh, okay.
Dean Mikitich wrote a letter. Hi, Rob, Dieter, and the physical media lovers of the PGS. The other day, I was walking down Upper St. Martin's Lane in London. By the way, the St. Martin's Lane Hotel is one of my favorite hotels in London. On this road used to be a great little shop called the Cinema Store, which the first time I went to London, I went to. It had everything in it, from movie memorabilia to imported DVDs and Blu-rays, mainly from the States. Alas, in January of 2016, it closed down due to the lease on the shop becoming too expensive to keep it going. I posted about it on the Let's Get Physical Media Facebook page. We all know physical media is in decline, and here in the UK we have seen iconic shops from the high street disappear, such as Our Price, a music store, MVC, a music and video DVD store, the Virgin Megastore, among many others. Even WH Smith's, in their larger stores that had a media section, is now gone. HMV used to be found on every high street in the country, but that now has disappeared from most, and in London, only one store remains, and 2 are on the outskirts of the city, both in the east. This means, for us physical media lovers, there are fewer and fewer places to pick up our physical media. Our supermarkets do have physical media sections, but they're abysmal and quite small, mainly having the latest releases on them, and that's that. If you're after a 4K, a special edition, or a Steelbook, forget it. You won't find it here. We also have a secondhand market with a store here in the UK that seems to be surviving very well on the high streets, called CEX, pronounced sex. The only real option is left for anything other than a vanilla copy of a film or new copies of films that have been out for more than a year is to hit the internet and pick it up from Arrow, Amazon, Zavvi, or a number of other sites. I don't know about you peeps, but I enjoy walking into a brick and mortar shop, walking down the aisles, seeing what they have, and maybe finding a gem every now and then. It's very easy to lose time in these stores, even if the store was a franchise such as HMV or HVM. There will always be one member of the staff that is very knowledgeable about films or music, and in some cases, both. I don't know how much longer shops like HMV will last, but I will miss them when they are gone. There is still a demand for physical media, as every time I go to my local supermarket, I always see people in the media section picking something up. Maybe someone will open another shop like the Cinema Store here in London where I can go and get lost in. Rob, Dieter, what are your thoughts on this? Peace and long life. Dean Mikitich. By the way, Dean Mikitich and Emma Bannon have been going out and hanging out, like not going out romantically.
In cahoots.
They're in cahoots. They go out and they're going to London. They're going out into the wilds. I want to go to London. I want to go hang out with Emma and Dean. We're going to go shopping. It's sad. First of all, the same is true in Los Angeles. There's really only one record store, and it closed for a while, called Amoeba. That is a giant.
Now you told us it reopened new.
It reopened. Amoeba reopened. But the thing about Amoeba is their new stuff is retail priced. And if you go there to buy new discs, they're really expensive. Now they have a lot of great. No Schnäppchen, but they do have a lot of used stuff, and it's a big store. But I'm with Dean. I mean, I miss going to stores like, you flip through. What's funny is we all know what discs are available, but when you go into a store and you're just flipping through things, you're like impulse buy, like, oh. I was wanting to have this. Why not? I'll buy this, and you walk out with it. And
I still do that impulse buy, Rob.
Well, I mean, I remember watching a guy is really into electronic music, EDM, electronic dance music. There was a couple of videos he made about all the different electronic dance music stores in Germany. And he went around to a few of them, and they're like these boutique-y stores. They're not big, and they've got like vinyl, special vinyl, but from DJs, like really limited edition stuff. And those kind of stores, they were still around in Germany. And I think, in Europe, if you have stores like that, maybe stores like that can still survive. I mean, I don't know, but what is it like in Germany? Can you still go to stores and buy discs?
Yeah, but it's gotten lesser and lesser. To a degree. I remember back in the day, as we old fools say, back in the day when DVD was starting, you could easily switch through all the new titles, and then it's got more and more and more and more. But I think the stock is getting less and less in the markets, and like Dean said, if it comes to special edition, sometimes our stores, like your Best Buy, gets a different steelbook or something like this. So there are some different variations here and there, but I believe it will get lesser and lesser, considering. And little stores, I remember back in the day where there was a little CD store, but of course it's no longer there. And I used to go through the city all the time, but now, click of the button. Okay, from the usual suspects. Yeah.
I mean, we know, and I kind of covered this before, but DVDs are still the biggest selling form of physical media.
Yeah, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean, because libraries and things like that. That's why Criterion still makes DVDs, because there's so many outlets for it. But it blows my mind too, because the whole point of this kind of physical media is that getting 4K transfers we've never had that at home. I mean, the promise of recreating the theatrical experience at home is possible now. If you want to build a great home theater system, and as things are streaming in 4K, but streaming is still not as good. The pipelines you're sending a huge signal with 4K, and physical media is still the best way. But unfortunately, physical media is dying, and it's going away, and it's going to go away probably sooner than we might think. Now, they're still making billions of dollars a year, but it's plummeted. I mean, every year, 15 to 20% of physical media revenues are going down, and that's been consistent over the last decade. And I don't want to be Mr. Doom and Gloom, but the reality of the situation is the reality of the situation, and physical media is not something that people are necessarily into now.
And you realize it when you see the delays that often a title will get. It has a date, and then it's getting delayed because there are not that many manufacturer.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
anymore.
I think there's one in North America, and it's in Mexico.
Yeah,
and they can only make so many discs, and that's why discs run out, and things don't get made, and it's just a different world. I mean, you kids today, but kids today are growing up in a world where why would you possibly collect physical media when you can stream? And I understand the world's changing, and that's just the way it is. I mean, the world unfortunately is changing, but we've got our movie collections. I mean, I like looking over there and seeing my physical media on the walls and all alphabetized, and even I, don't watch my physical media collection as much as I would normally do so because, you have streaming. But
what about Game of Thrones, Rob? You stream?
We're streaming Game of Thrones, and which is ridiculous because I've got this beautiful box set. But I never bought. I'll tell you something. Watching Game of Thrones again, I'm gonna get the 4Ks. I didn't get the 4K disc set. I'm gonna get the 4K disc set of Game of Thrones because, one day I'm gonna watch. It's so good. I mean, even though the last 4 episodes screw the pooch so hard, but even the 7th season. I mean, the 7th season falls apart in terms of time, like how long it takes for people to get that. The episode where the White Walkers have them surrounded in the water is the dumbest shit ever. Like, go run, Gendry, and send a raven to Dragonstone, which is 1,000 miles away. Send the raven there, and then Dany will fly back. Yeah, and it's like, come on, man. You watch, and you're watching, especially if you watch it in context. The first 4 seasons are genius, and seasons 5 and 6 are very problematic in certain ways. But still, they're very engaging, and the last 2 episodes.
You liked it more than before, considering
I did.
Now you binge watch it.
Yeah, binge watching it feels better, and the last 2 episodes of season 6 are so epic that all that, which is great. But season 7, I like what happens in season 7, but they're in such a rush. I'm like, why do you have a scenario where the White Walkers are they're literally surrounding you, and you now have to explain how 2,000 miles of ground there and back you send a raven? How long does it take a raven to fly 1,000 miles? Certainly not a couple of hours. It's like one day goes by, and you watch this and you're like, they did this to themselves, and you're like, did anybody stop and think about this? Like they would have to cover that 2,000 miles would have taken weeks. And yet it's supposed to take place in a day. And when you get up to that point in the show, you're like, come on, man. And we're going to talk about Game of Thrones at length on our new show. Elizabeth and I are going to do what the fuck or what the F are we watching? And so that's what we're doing. But anyway, the demise of physical media. Do you ever go shopping anywhere in Germany?
Considering physical media, unfortunately not, Rob. I have to say, unfortunately not.
I don't either. There's nowhere to go other than Amoeba. And Amoeba used to be right next to the Cinerama and the ArcLight, and it was
just for browsing, you don't know if you can buy, or let's say from these titles, there are probably the half of it was US titles. I couldn't get it here, so it's just normal for me to do, or the Battle Royale or the Donnie Darko. I can get here in a shop. I have to order these 2.
And also, we know it's coming out, so you go months in advance. Like Battle Royale and Donnie Darko, I ordered months ago. Or you go to Zavvi. I mean, I ordered the steelbooks of Indiana Jones. It's like, okay, I'm going to get them now. It's not even fun. You go to the internet, you order your thing, and you're going to get it at some point. But the idea of just flipping through the stacks. Yeah. Even though you've been through those stacks a million times, like, and you see these. Remember, like this. I've been flipping through this disc for 5 years. No one's bought it. It's still here.
What I liked about the US version is that they had that seal above it, so you can see the title from above.
Yeah,
that was not typical in Germany. So you had really to flip through it.
Yep.
But from the US, you could see from above what title it is.
Yep. No, it's true.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a lot of super chats today.
Oh, okay, Rob.
And I I want to get through them because I'm doing the Psycho Gorman panel at noon, and it's already 11:17.
So we have a half hour.
We have a lot of super chats. 200 Watt Studios
about cancellation.
No, 200 Watt Studios says that Dieter's audio has been roboting during the stream. I hope it hasn't been now. I hope we fix it. Justin Toner sends in one of two. Yo, Rob and Dieter, I got the 4K of Donnie Darko and the 1976 King Kong from Shout Factory this week. The theatrical cut disc played fine on my Sony 4K player, but word is Sony players have not had the playback issue. As for the 1976 King Kong, went through all the special features except for the commentary tracks, all good. Looking forward to watching the extended TV cut on disc too. I've never seen it. Also, got a nice poster for my pre-order from the Shout website. Ooh, I hope it's that poster with the cover. That's very cool. Yeah, you know, I haven't watched the theatrical cut of Donnie Darko yet, but it has that problem. I have a Sony player, so I don't know.
Should be fine.
Yeah, should be fine. And but again, I just love ordering things and then they show up in the mail. Like Arrow does a pretty great job of getting you stuff, and so when I got Battle Royale and the Donnie Darko cut, that's always nice. A 200 Watt Studio sends in a super chat and says we have to have a new segment on the show called Dieter's Trash Bin.
We have that every week.
I know, but I gotta make.
We don't have a special section. Like Tim Henn said, it's quality trash. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to put the movies down Dieter's Trash Bin because what you've said, and I keep saying it. There's good trash and there's bad trash.
And as long as I can show trash, Rob, physical media is still alive. If they put out such titles as this, okay?
You are correct, sir. Absolutely. But I like the idea. I like that. Maybe a special segment. Maybe we could do something like that. It's an excuse to make another graphic for the show. So.
But the problem is, I would have to watch the movies beforehand to know what I would put in it. Okay. Well, or no? Would you put everything directly in? Okay.
No, okay. You'd have to decide. Like if you did Dieter's Trash Bin, you'd have to give an explanation. There's good trash.
You mean good. Okay.
Good trash and bad trash, and it would just be what you. Maybe Cat in the Bags that you haven't watched yet could go in the trash bin, and you don't know. And sometimes you might have trash, and you realize this isn't trash, and you take it out of the bin. That would be the ultimate example.
Oh, great.
So the lovely Emma Bannon has sent in a tip, and Emma says, "Hi, Batman and Robin." She says, "Dieter, what's your favorite PlayStation game? What's your favorite PlayStation 5 game? Oh, right." And then she says, "Rob, what's your favorite PlayStation 5 game?"
Isn't my disco shirt shiny and my Captain Phasma here both great additions to both universes?
I have to say, I can't tell you what my favorite PlayStation 5 game is because, believe it or not, I have not bought a game for the PlayStation 5 yet.
But I was lucky, Rob. A friend of mine has the PlayStation 5, so I could play it. Help me the playroom. What is this?
The playroom. The playroom.
So I could use the controller and see what the fuss is all about.
It's pretty great. Did you get to the point where you have to blow on the controller?
Yeah. He told me. I go, what should I do now?
I'm like, how does that work? You blow. It works. You blow on the touchpad, it like spins the pinwheel. I'm like, that's unbelievable. I'm waiting. What I really want, there's the Hot Wheels game. The thing that I'm waiting for now, as far as there's a Hot Wheels racing game that's coming out this summer that I really, really, really want. And I finally want to find. I haven't played Ghosts of Tsushima yet, and I really want to play that. But that's still.
I neither. I have it, Rob, but didn't get around to it.
Yeah, I need to play that. So, but I do like that Emma knows where to get us. She always knows where to stick the sword in. How about that PlayStation 5, dude? Oh, yes. You don't have a PlayStation 5. Harry Nice Guy sends in a super chat and says, "Hey, folks, since books are likewise to be defined as physical media, any comment about the Heart of the Jedi and the removal from Amazon?" Ooh, that's a good question. So for those of you who don't know...
For Europe.
For
I
those
saw
of
it
you
on Midnight Metal, but I don't have the backstory like you do.
yeah, a guy, an author was commissioned to write a Star Wars novel because he had a contract with Bantam Spectra, and to write a Star Wars novel called Heart of the Jedi, and it takes place in the aftermath of Return of the Jedi. It was part of the extended universe. The book was written, people liked it. It was going to be part of a other series of books that other authors were writing, and then for some inexplicable reason, it was never published. Okay. And then cut to 30 years later, almost now, I guess it was published, self-published. Either the author put it out or somebody else put it out, and they put it out as a paperback. Like it looked like a real paperback on Amazon, and it was outselling the High Republic novels. And people were buying it. It was doing very, very well, but it was unauthorized.
Pat Finch showed it yesterday.
Yeah, it was unauthorized. He just put it out, and it was outselling real Star Wars books. And so they somehow somebody at Lucasfilm were like, no, and they pulled it off Amazon. And now that if you go to eBay and try and buy the paperback, people are trying to sell it for $500. It's crazy. But it's amazing that it was a completely unauthorized release. I mean, it was written. It was an authorized book. It was written and it was edited and it was done as a genuine release. And the author basically got screwed, and it ruined his publishing career.
But you have no knowledge why it didn't come out back in the day.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a Lucasfilm issue. They didn't like the other books that it was part of, and whatever. And the author was never given any explanation. There's a really great article. You can go find this article online where he explains it. He talks about this whole experience. And now it was out, and it was on the bestseller list. It was outselling official Star Wars book releases, especially the High Republic. And, the High Republic has had a huge backlash in various circles. So, yeah. So that's what it is. But I think, look, it's an unauthorized Star Wars novel. And while it was written and it was going to be published under the Lucasfilm banner 30 years ago, it never was. So this release of this book was basically unauthorized. So, of course, at some point, Lucasfilm was going to clamp down on this. But I love the fact that it was, in fact, released. And I do like the fact that, I mean, the High Republic to me was the whole initiative was sort of pandering. I mean, this whole idea about, well, we must create a Star Wars series that's inclusive for everybody. And I don't understand this American idea that we have to appeal to, like, every single thing must appeal to all people. We have to make sure that every single person is represented in it. And I mean, I love the idea behind that, but the fact is, like, yes, every body type can be represented. That's fine. But if you're a Jedi and you have athletic prowess and you have to do lots of training and you're in really good shape, that's part of what being a Jedi is. So, if you want to make Jedis overweight, I guess that's fine. But because people come in all shapes, sizes, colors, creeds. I get that. But we want our heroes to inspire us. I don't want a superhero to look like my middle-aged ass. I want a superhero to be a fine example of whatever entity they come from, whether it's an alien from an alien planet like in the Green Lantern Corps. I want my heroes, my fantasy characters, to look like fantasy characters. I don't want them to look like my slovenly ass. I just don't. I don't want that.
Fat Thor was fine for one movie, but not more.
But what's so funny about that is that there was a reason. A lot of people objected to that. They're like, "Well, I don't want my Thor to look fat." But in the context of the story, it was really good. Yeah, he let himself go. I thought it was really
played a little bit of Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. That with 13-year-old kids online or whatever, and they kicked his ass. I mean, and that makes sense, but I just don't understand. It's so funny to me. Like, I'm not going to watch something because I'm not represented. Like, I'm like, come on. It's such a weird, but I've been getting a lot of letters about this, now with Black Superman and
Yeah.
I get a lot of letters from Black readers who watch either this show or Robservations, and I would say the majority of them don't like this. They don't like that because they see it as tokenism and pandering, and I understand. I mean, and I got a letter, I think I read it yesterday, from a Black viewer who said, look, the only reason that you'd make Superman a black is it's about race. Ultimately, that's what the issue is. And this person was saying that I don't want that. I want to see characters that represent me that are already created, like Jon Stewart. Passion, and I love Jon Stewart. And they've got these characters, and it's like, why not make a movie about that? But the funny thing, the people, it's like you can make any character popular. Great story, a great character. If it's a great story with a great character, you can make anybody popular. You don't have to take it. I understand, well, Superman's a known commodity. Yeah, but Superman is Superman. And if you're going to change him around, and I have no problem, like I said, I'll watch J.J. Abrams' Superman movie written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and I'll watch it, and probably, if it turns out great, fantastic. I have no problem with that. But, they're still changing the character, and it is, in a way, sort of pandering, where you've got all these, like the Milestone universe in the DC Comics universe, their sub-universe, that was an actual comic book universe created by Black creators. That's where we got Static Shock, like the animated series, Icon. There's a lot of great characters that were literally created by Black comic artists. Why not adapt those characters? And people are like, well, they don't have the name value. But so give them the name value. Make people like them. But anyway, the Heart of the Jedi is outselling, or was outselling, the High Republic books.
Yeah, so, Pat Finch showed it, but I didn't know the backstory of the book.
Yeah. Justin Toner says King Kong 76 is sold out on Amazon. Oh. That makes sense. I think that's a good thing. I ordered mine directly from Shout. Maybe they've run out of them too. I don't know. Brendan Mills sends in a super chat and says, how much do you guys love Uwe Boll? I'm totally not Uwe Boll, but Uwe Boll is ultra talented, and don't disrespect his art. Uwe Boll knows you.
Like I said, I totally love his audio commentaries. The movies, I'm still fascinated by the fact how he did get all the stars aligned for his movies. So you got to admire him for that, and his business model. And Dave, I know, but Rampage is really good. Let me tell you, Rampage was good from my perspective. Rampage was his best movie. Really, really dug Rampage. Okay. But, it's Uwe. It's us Uwe. Or men in Hollywood.
Brendan goes on to ask, do you ever plan on having Uwe Boll on the show? I don't know. Can you call him up?
I don't have his number up. I'm not in the media circle.
Everybody can be gotten to. I would have him on the show. We should call him up. Why not?
Totally.
I love that. We'll look into that. We'll see if somebody. I mean, Mark Altman made House of the Dead with him. Maybe Mark can call him up, get him on the show. That would be hilarious. I mean, he would be a fun guest to have. We'd have to do a special show though, a special feature show. Ma La says, how come Godzilla vs. Kong, the physical media, is coming out so quick? Well, I think
it is almost 3 months. It comes out mid-June, so it was end of March, April, May, mid-June. It's the new norm. It's way more days than just 45.
Yeah,
like the new one is. For me, Rob, 45 is really too short. Come on, 45. I think... If you don't watch the movie in the first 2 weeks, you say, okay, now I can wait 2 more to see it. 45 days.
Dude, I know.
Back in the day, it was half a year before the title was released.
I know.
Home video.
I know.
45 days. God damn it, Rob. God damn it. and I tell you right now, Rob, like Widow, let's say, it's just my opinion. If it makes, let's say, at the box office 500 to 600, and it makes through selling worldwide 200 to 300. I believe Day and Date will be used for the other movies too. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
my opinion. I think they will really keep their eye on how Black Widow is doing, because if Black Widow comes out, probably all theaters will be back almost full capacity, and they will really look specifically how Black Widow and perhaps Jungle Cruise is doing that way.
Yeah,
how they can make with that model aside from the normal box office.
Yeah, I mean,
Mulan wasn't perhaps the best title to check it, but a Marvel movie really will really perhaps get different numbers, different selling numbers. But let's see.
And I look, Godzilla versus Kong did very well theatrically, even though the pandemic is raging. It made more money theatrically than Godzilla King of the Monsters made. So I think they're pretty happy with the box office. And look, I was hoping, because Adam Wingard said that there was so much deleted footage that was not in the film. I was really hoping that there would be an extended version of Godzilla versus Kong, and based on its success, maybe there will be. I'd really love to see that happen. But, you know, from now on, I mean, I'll definitely buy that 4K because the monster fights were great, you know.
And
I
already pre-ordered.
Yeah, I mean, I love my kaiju fights. Terrier Tiberius, Mark, he's here. He says, "Do you guys still have your first movie purchase on any disc format?" I posted about mine on the Facebook group. It was Star Trek Insurrection on an import DVD. I do not, because my first disc, if you want to say disc, were laser discs. And my first two laser discs I ever bought were Phantasm on magnetic video and Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. And I bought those on Laserdisc before I even had a Laserdisc player. And then I picked up the Criterion. In '84, they released King Kong and Citizen Kane. Those are the first Criterion discs. So I actually owned those 4 Laserdiscs before I even had a Laserdisc player. And I've gotten rid of them because they were re-released even on Laserdisc. Phantasm had a beautiful special edition. So I've gotten rid of all that. My first VHS tape I ever bought was Halloween.
Actually, I have my first Laserdiscs that I bought, Rob, because it was Star Trek Generations, RoboCop, I believe, and I don't remember the third one. And like you, this was always my way to go. Always buy software first before you have the hardware. Always have software first. And I still have, of course, Kingdom of Heaven, the Blu-ray, which was one of the first Blu-rays I bought. But I can't really remember what was the first DVD I bought. I thought probably Glimmerman with Steven Seagal, something like that.
Yeah.
Some Warner title.
Yeah, it was. I think mine was Blade Runner. I think mine was my first. Willow is here. Willow says.
Willow. Shiny,
Willow says.
Shiny. This disco is very shiny.
Oh man, I can't believe you wore this shirt. I feel like everyone makes fun of me. I don't know. When am I going to garner the respect I deserve? You make fun of me. Everyone makes fun of me. Willow says, speaking of Uwe Boll, did you know that he's actually had critical success as a restaurateur? He had an acclaimed restaurant that unfortunately closed down last year called Bauhaus here in Vancouver. Hopefully, he'll stick to the restaurant industry.
Didn't know that, really. Nice to know.
That's
about Dr. Uwe.
He's a doctor and a restaurant. I did not know he was a restaurateur.
I didn't know that either.
That's
nice
good to know.
Willow.
Garen Gillum sends in a super chat and says, Rob, you did interviews for the Life Force Blu-ray that Shout Factory put out, did you not? Yes, I did. I did the sit down. I interviewed Toby Hooper, and I also was there and recorded the audio commentary for Life Force. I was going to work more on it, but I just got busy, and but I'm proud of that. I love that movie. It's especially the international version, which is on that disc. It's great, and that was when my mom went to Japan. My mom went to this. She went to Japan like I want to say 25 years ago or something, and quarterly Pioneer used to publish this beautiful book. It was like a catalog of all the Laserdiscs available in Japan. The whole thing was in Japanese. And I knew what the Japanese character was for Letterboxd. So I would go through and I would like, okay, I need to get this Japanese, like, and Life Force was one of the discs that they put out Letterboxd. And so I meticulously copied the Japanese, and it was on a lined piece of notebook paper. And I'm like, okay, Mom, I want these discs. You got to find these discs for me. And she would go into these stores. I mean, I can't imagine my mom, who knows nothing about this stuff. And I wrote down, and then I cut out a picture of the disc, and I put it on the thing. So it was written in Japanese, and she would go in the way she told me. She thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. That she walked in and she would unfold this piece of notebook paper that had my meticulous Japanese, whatever the title of the movie was, and she would give it to and of course in Japan, customer service, they want to help you and all that. It's their honor to do so. And of course, I can't even imagine what, there's, some high school student who's working in a record store or something has this, American lady kind of come in and go, could you help me in unfolding this piece of paper? And I found this, so I've got these, but I mean, it must have been the most hilarious thing ever, but that's the first time I owned. And the Japanese artwork for Life Force is amazing. Like around the rest of the world, they had like Matilda May like strapped to a rocket ship. I mean, it didn't look like anything from the movie, but it was awesome. And the Japanese cover was amazing for that Laserdisc. And when my mom came back, she bought me everything I asked for. It was like 10 Laserdiscs, and I'm like, she had to like bring them home, and it was fantastic.
Mom. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Nance. Yeah, what a great mom that is, But it was so funny because I'm like, I need this, and my mom's like, well, okay, but I had to make it like if she had to make any decisions about it at all, she would have fucked it up. But so she had and I go, don't just point to this and go, this is what I want. Don't get anything else. Make sure it's this. So. Yes, Garen, I did work on Life Force. Detritus sends in a super chat and says, "Are you guys as excited as myself for the 4K Willy Wonka release? I am so excited. I pre-ordered Zavi's 4K Steelbook and the 4K collector set with the golden ticket. I love the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Yes, I'm excited. So bring that on. Are you excited? Are you going to get the 4K of Willy Wonka?
I remember who asked me about Willy Wonka. Toby Toon in the comments.
Toby Chu.
I have actually. It was someone. No, Glenn was it, I believe. But I have no ties to Willy Wonka. Somehow, I have no ties to that movie.
Yeah,
but
you gotta. Yeah.
I don't know why, Rob. I don't think it's permeated German.
Yeah, you gotta grow up. You gotta grow up with it. I think you got to grow up with it. Oh, once again, here's somebody, our friend David Kukol, who's drawn great pictures of us.
David, my friend.
David says, Dieter is looking very stylish in that new shirt of his. See, I told you. I get no respect. No respect here.
Thanks, David. I told him beforehand that I was going to do a cancel joke that get me canceled, but he likes it, okay?
You're out.
Fine by me.
You're out of the family, Dieter. Yeah. You're out of the family.
This was the final. What was nice knowing you all.
Yes. Mala sends in another super chat and says, Interstellar inspired me to take up the piano. Well, that's pretty cool. What film has inspired you both?
Inspired in what way to pick up?
I have to tell you.
I have, considering Interstellar, I have the memory when I watched it at first. The piano stuff was really getting on my nerves because it was playing so loud in the IMAX in Berlin. I watched the movie in Berlin. I thought, can he please stop with this organ soundtrack? But inspired to do something. I would really like to say Crossroads inspired me to pick up the guitar, but it didn't.
I decided to learn to ski. Where I grew up in Seattle, because of The Spy Who Loved Me. I love James Bond movies, and so On Her Majesty's Secret Service and The Spy Who Loved Me. I hadn't seen On Her Majesty's Secret Service before I saw Spy Who Loved Me first, but the opening scene made me want to ski. And where I grew up, our public school system, they would take you skiing on the weekends. So a lot of kids, like a third of our schools, would get bussed early Saturday morning up to either Crystal Mountain or Stevens Pass, and we would ski. And it wasn't. By the time I got into junior high school, I'm like, oh man, I'm learning to ski, and it was because of James Bond.
James Bond, okay.
And that was the best thing I ever did. I love skiing. I haven't been skiing in a long time, but I used to ski all the time and love it. I even got to ski in the Swiss Alps. We went to Davos and for the holidays about, 16, 17 years ago, and it was incredible. Skiing, I'm like, man, I want to move to Davos and just ski. It's incredible. So Sheriff Carl says, I hope you had a great fucking birthday. I did. With Howard the Duck 4K coming out, do you think we'll get Conan on 4K? Man, that is one of my most eagerly awaited titles in 4K. Yeah. I hope they have Dolby Atmos and remix that motherfucker, because, man. Also,
that mono soundtrack could really use some uptick.
Yeah. Also, 11 years since the death of Ronnie James Dio. Take one down for the metal wizard from hell.
The best one. The best one.
Well, that
one
is
of my first concerts.
The end of the Superchats. Listen, Dieter.
Okay. We have probably no time for special editions.
We have no time,
anymore.
so let's hold off on special editions until next week.
Just to finish off, let us do our segment. Rob, do you know this movie? Dream Home.
I do not, but I love the cover.
Oh, Rob, my God damn it. Why don't you know Dream Home? You have to do it. Has category 3, Rob. Category 3. It's a really great movie. And the Hong Kong version is actually, Rob, a little bit censored, but everything that is censored is on the disc as deleted scenes in the same quality as it is in the picture. And I had to get the German one, which is in this slipcase, which is the movie in the uncut version. It's about a young lady who wants to get a nice apartment at the Hong Kong Bay area. I'll just say Hong Kong Bay area. And the apartments are not a Schnäppchen, these apartments. And she uses different methods to get her apartment. Rob, I really can recommend this movie. Dream Home.
Is it Chinese or Korean?
It's Chinese, Rob.
Okay.
It's Chinese. It's like Dave said, back in the day, you would have known this. Back in the day, you would have known this movie.
Oh, man.
It's like Dave said. It's like Dave said on Midnight Metal.
Oh, man. Telling you.
Okay, Rob, you only got 15 minutes.
Well, hang on. We got a few more. Rob Altus sends in a super chat and says, so if you're on the Enterprise, do you wear a shirt that says Enter? And the Exeter, you wear Exit?
Probably.
You know what, Rob? Thank you. You now put this. I'm going to use this. I'm going to steal this. You are absolutely right. Disco, having people wear a shirt, it's so stupid. Breaking the fourth wall. But you know what? I'm happy Dieter had to go buy that shirt, and I'm happy that he has
for the
this.
joke, Rob. Just for the joke. This is what I invest for to try something funny.
200 Watt Studio says, happy with Shout Factory's King Kong Blu-ray. I have the Studio Canal Blu-ray from a few years ago. That's what I have, I think. I also have the Paramount DVD, which I had signed by Rene Aubergenois. Well, that's something cool to have. Well, listen, I do have to cut this short because I'm 5 minutes. I am due to go into Psycho Gorman, man. I'm doing a Psycho Gorman panel with the director that's on Mid-May Massacre, which is very exciting. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my moderators for being here. Mike Bodden, the Richard. Brian Hepburn is here. I don't know who.
YNT is there. Yeah, great.
Justin Toner is here. Thank you both for moderating. And I want to mention that today, if you're a member of the channel, we are having no observations today, but there is, starting at 2 o'clock, going to be one of our epic Zoom calls. So come meet all your fellow channel members, Post-Geek Singularity members. And the last 2 Zoom calls have gone 4, 5, 6 hours because I can't shut the fuck up.
Your usual length, Rob.
So join us there, and that'll be fun. If you're shy on camera, don't worry, it doesn't matter. Come join the Post-Geek Singularity for a members Zoom call, thanks to Roberto Suarez. So join us. And we will be back next week with more physical media talk
and special editions.
And special editions.
Even if I had something ready. So
and
Rob,
live long and prosper. And I will see you all later. And remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and they probably have physical media that you don't have. And it's worth finding out what they have. And if they don't have physical media, do you really want to know them? Come on.
Come on.
But on that note, we end this episode of Let's Get Physical Media. Thank you for all the support. If you want to send us a letter, you can at the Burnettwork.net website. And thank you for the generous support of the channel via Super Chats and tips. We very much appreciate that. And as always, have a better day.